This is exhilarating. Get excited.
I'll just say it. The 1971 version is better than this one. That's just my personal opinion. Now, the 2005 version does have some positives. I'm not going to pretend that it doesn't. But Gene Wilder is the superior Willy Wonka to Johnny Depp. Have you seen the Willy Wonka or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie?
I've seen the original.
Okay.
Never watched the remake because I heard it wasn't as good.
In all honesty, it's not. But it's Tim Burton.
I didn't want to see Johnny Depp being disappointing because I like Johnny Depp. So.
I do too. And not to say I don't like Johnny Depp. I like Johnny Depp. And, you know, his performance here is very much eclectic and very much his own. But still, it by comparison to Gene Wilder, it's just nowhere near as endearing, impactful, and memorable. I mean, the visuals, I very much remember the visuals of this. And if I'm being honest, it's probably my least favorite portrayal of Willy Wonka in terms of live action films, because my ranking is Gene Wilder as the original live action Willy Wonka, and then I would say Timothée Chalamet in the Wonka movie, and then Johnny Depp's version. That's my ranking. So, Wilder, Chalamet, Depp. And also the music. The music in the original, I think, is much more memorable than this one, because Oompa Loompa Doompa Dee Doo versus...
How do you not bring that back?
Because...
It's iconic.
I don't know. In all honesty, some decisions in this film make me just question... I question the decision-making in this, but it is what it is. Tim Burton's going to do what Tim Burton does.
Could have freaking, Danny Elfmanified Oompa Loompa Doopity Doo. It would have been dope.
Yes, I agree. They could have. But that didn't happen, sadly. And instead, we're stuck with a adaptation that, in my opinion, is kind of mid. But,
lackluster, so to speak.
Yes, by comparison. So, I will say this. The kids in this I found to be a little bit more memorable. Especially Veruca. Well, the original Veruca is iconic because of just how bratty she is. I would say, the Veruca in this is really good, and the remake is really good, as is the Violet Beauregard, played by Anna Sophia Robb. And I'll say the Mike TV in this is a bit more... they're both bratty, but this one's, kind of, more bratty than the original. But Freddie Highmore does a good job as Charlie. I thought he was good. But the original actor...
Come on, Charlie.
Gosh. Charlie bit my finger. Sorry.
Candy Mountain, Charlie.
Oh, gosh. Charlie the Unicorn. Dear God. Well, Doug is here to talk about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. This is his most recent review, so hopefully we're able to, see what Doug has to say and see if we agree or if we don't agree. But I'm willing to hear Doug out on his critiques. Are you ready? Let's go.
This episode brought to you by Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy. Remember it so you don't have to. I reviewed the Bakshi and Jackson Lord of the Rings after doing it old versus new. Batman Dark Knight after doing it old versus new. So I don't know, let's do another Warner Brothers flick. Not gonna lie, I feel like I got my thoughts out when I did that video, but on its 20th anniversary. Yeah, remember when this actually was new? People have been asking me to give a full review of the Tim Burton remake. Who am I to argue with the will of the people? I mean, Wonka videos do surprisingly well on this channel. but at the same time, it might be interesting to give this another look. I do remember some updates to this story really working well, but I also remember everything else. But who knows, maybe my opinion will change. It's not like we're short, powerful, crazy rich people in the public eye, so maybe I'll have a different point of view on this Willy Wonka after all these years.
Are you hep to the job? Can you dig what I'm laying down? I knew that you could. Slide me some skin. So, brother?
Yeah, maybe I'm a Chinese jet pilot. Regardless, people want me to give the full review treatment, so that's what I'm gonna do today. So consider this a review revisit-ish. Yeah, I've only done 2 and already there's a spin-off. But hey, I guess that matches this franchise. Let's take a look at Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. First off, I should say, while I talked about the Elfman songs before, I actually do dig the intro music. I think I was closed off to it at first because it just sounded like Elfman imitating Elfman, which I was hearing a lot at the time. But returning back, it is kind of fun. I especially like this moment where it sounds like Alvin the Chipmunk's getting jerked off. That was a good scene to delete from the squirrel room.
Oh, God.
The narrator introduces us to Charlie Bucket, played by Freddie Highmore.
He was not faster or stronger or more clever than other children.
He was kind of dumb, like thinking Cheerios were donut seeds, that sort of thing. So I will say, most of the scenes before they go into the chocolate factory, I actually do kind of get into. It's not just the look of it, though everything is wonderfully exaggerated. I mean, it looks like God literally farted on the Bucket's house.
And it does. I mean, look at that thing. It's just, once again, the set design that Tim Burton evokes, especially whenever he's going for going like a real world aesthetic, and then you see this dropped in the middle of this industrial background. It just makes you think this family's not in a good place. This literally looks like one touch on the side and just fall over.
But the story really is told in its own way that sucks me in rather than have me constantly compare it to the original. Every actor plays the role different, but it doesn't feel like it's done just to be different. They form personalities I'd like to watch even if I didn't see the original.
It's my candy bar, and I'll do what I want with it.
Well, most of them. Alright, make no mistake, Highmore has become a very accomplished actor.
Yes.
Bates Motelli's absolutely stellar in, and Good Doctor...
I am a surgeon!
...isn't his fault.
Good Doctor, again, the portrayal of autism, not the best. Just gonna say.
But he can't bring much to this bland written version of Charlie. Thankfully, though, he doesn't have to worry much about that, as Grandpa Joe, played by David Kelly, tells many stories about the history of Wonka, played by Johnny Depp. Yeah, ironically, the movie called Willy Wonka is more about Charlie, and the movie called Charlie is more about Willy Wonka.
We're out of chocolate birds.
We'll need to make some more.
Now open.
This will be the first of many times I say please don't do that again.
Please don't.
Tell him about the Indian prince. He'd like to hear about that.
So it gets a little unfocused here. I know, right? In a Burt movie, you're kidding. But I kind of like telling these stories not knowing if they're true or if they're building up the mythos of Wonka. As long as I don't show Wonka yet keeping some mystery behind it, I think these scenes are kind of fun.
They began sending in spies to steal his secret recipes.
He talks about how spies stole his recipe, so he had to close down the factory.
One day, the factory was back in business.
Did you get your job back?
No.
That sucks.
It's announced that Willy Wonka has put 5 golden tickets in 5 Wonka bars, and the kids that find them will be given a tour of his factory, as well as something else.
In addition, one of these children shall receive a special prize beyond anything you could ever imagine.
Seeing how this Wonka is clearly inspired by Michael Jackson, I don't like the vibe that's giving off.
Okay, that's actually a rumor. Johnny Depp was asked that in an interview. It's like, are you basing this performance of you as Willy Wonka on Michael Jackson? And he gave a hard no. He is literally basing it off of someone who was emotionally stunted and never really grew up. So kind of like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Minus the pedophilia. Well, potential pedophilia. There's no guarantee.
Someone who never really grew up, it would be like not entirely surprising if they had those kind of tendencies because they never grew up. They look at children as being like their peers still.
Yes, in which that's kind of disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
is found by Augustus in Germany. The original is fat, but also rude. However, here, fat is enough to hate him.
How did you celebrate?
I eat more candy.
What a repulsive boy.
Why can't he weigh a pound like me? The next ticket is found by Veruca. Or rather, her rich father's workers find it for her.
Soon as my little Veruca told me she had to have one of these golden tickets, I started buying up all the Wonka bars I could lay my hands on.
Smile.
Why do I want to play the end credits of Pearl over that?
Oh my god, don't! Do not. For the love of God, do not.
I didn't think that was really fair.
You heard of the movie X, right?
Oh, I've heard of it, yeah.
Pearl is the prequel.
Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She didn't find the ticket herself.
Today more fair than you getting this part with that performance. The third ticket is found by Violet, who I like has more of an overachiever personality as opposed to just gum chewing. I always thought that was a weird reason for death.
Yes.
Now, to be fair, as actress is used to a fair amount of randomness in that category.
I'm the Junior World Champion gun tour.
Of course, I did have my share of trophies, mostly baton.
I also have to give credit that, like the original, the parents are played just as well as the kids.
Yes.
Bringing a lot of personality.
Champions chew with their mouths closed.
Exactly. Also, Missy Pyle, in spite of being like, you know, portraying like the dumb blonde in almost every film that she's in, is arguably one of the sweetest and most hilarious people like in Hollywood. She's way too nice for Hollywood.
That immediately tells the story of how their offspring got the way they did. Like the next winner, Mike TV, whose father clearly doesn't moderate what he watches or plays. In fact, his eyes are glued to screen so much, he actually figured out a pattern for
what did you say her name was?
Who, Missy Pyle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I check something real fast?
Sure, go for it. Missipyle.
Okay. There's just somebody in Wayward Pines that kind of looks like her, but it's not her.
Okay.
how to find the next ticket.
Track the manufacturing dates, offset by weather, and the derivative of the Nikkei index. A retard figured out.
Well, that'll be a fun clip for an employer to find when he's looking for a job.
You ungrateful little butt.
Yeah, now plug his ears. The tar talk was totally fine, though.
Yeah, depends on the house you're in. Because some people throw that word around like it's nothing. And in all honesty, I don't think it's that bad. But in all honesty, if you start dropping F-bombs around a 7-year-old, I'm just like, no. I even have to watch my language around my nieces and nephews. Because my sister, she doesn't give a damn. My sister drops F-bombs in front of all of her kids. From like the 18-year-old all the way down to Paisley.
Not very cool.
No. And whenever I'm at mom's, and it's just me and Kate and mom and like we're babysitting Paisley and all that, I watch my language because I try to set a standard. Because I'll swear up on here like if I feel like it, but I don't go out of my way to just say the F-bomb, just like much like in one of Doug's most recent things that we watched. I'll say the F-bomb, but I'm not just gonna drop it like just because I feel like it. I'm gonna drop it if it is gonna emphasize the point that I'm making. But never in front of
Grandpa
kids.
Joe gives Charlie some money to get a Wonka bar, but there's sadly no ticket inside, much to the tremendous heartbreak of Charlie. React! And doesn't
Tim Burton's not the best at directing kids. There, I said it.
get better when he hears the final ticket was found.
Did you see that some kid in Russia found the last golden ticket?
Yes, it was in the paper this morning.
Well, they're clearly gay, so it must be true. Yeah, some of these choices are very random. Charlie finds some money and buys a Wonka bar, just as he discovers not only that the other ticket was fake, but the one in his hand is very real.
You found Wonka's last golden ticket.
I definitely like dragging the fake out in the original more, as you feel real heartbreak, though granted, Charlie would actually have to feel something in order for that to work.
Ouch.
What look did he even have here? Like, was that font quiet enough so nobody would notice? He shows the ticket to Grandpa Joe, causing that faker to jump out of bed. And honestly, this is all so much faster than the original. It is kind of funny.
Here, Read this aloud. The lucky finder of this golden ticket from Mr. Willy Wonka.
I usually hate rushed remakes, but there's such an odd energy around all this that it does weirdly suck me into it a bit. I mean, is nobody gonna react to Grandpa Joe standing after all these years? I'm just waiting for him to say,
Monsieur has been locked!
What was that?
That's from Dr. Strangelove. Dr. Strangelove had been in a wheelchair the entire film, and literally at the end of the, near the end of the film, he stands up, and the entire room just looks at him, just being like, and he's like, "My Führer, I can walk!"
We need the money more than we need the chocolate.
Charlie says he wants to sell the ticket, though, as they're offering hundreds at the store. A noble edition, and I like the most cynical of the relatives, is the one that says this is more important than money.
There's plenty of money out there, but this ticket, there's only 5 of them in the whole world. And that's all there's ever going to be.
Also, one thing I will say, I'm glad that they are focusing on the other grandparents, not just Grandpa Joe and Joseph, not just Grandpa Joe. They're actually focusing on the other grandparents, on George and Georgina, and actually having them participate more. Like right here, they could have had Grandpa Joe say this to him, but instead they had Grandpa George say it. So it shows that, you know, these characters have a little more depth. That's one thing about this film that I will say that I like. They expand more on the family. Like, for instance, in the original, the dad was dead. Sad, yes. But in this one, the dad's still alive. And I think it's a better call to have the dad be alive here, because it shows that even with both of the parents working, they're still struggling. And I think that adds more to the drama of, like, Charlie finding the ticket, personally.
Granted, we were saving up for Ritalin to control those emotional outbursts you have. Please, Charlie, lower your voice! The next day, they make it to Wonka's factory, where we're sacrificed to this earworm.
Willy Wonka, the amazing chocolatier.
I hated this so damn much when it came out. I was just like, but I will say this: it was funny as hell with what happens.
Willy Wonka.
If any of those were slappy, I would find Goosebumps scary.
I started laughing my ass off here. I was like, yes, burn, burn, unholy demons.
Oh, that does represent what Gene Wilder said this movie did to the original.
That's
Wonka
true.
appears and...
Good morning, Starshine. The Earth says hello.
Call it 3639 is when the movie got bad.
Uh-huh.
All right, to Depp's credit, I can't entirely blame him. This isn't the Wonka from the previous film or the book. It's something else. And
I always thought a verruca was a type of wart you got on the bottom of your foot.
boy, is it something else. So it's pretty clear they're depicting a kid who never grew up and has the same social awkwardness of a kid who never grew up. And at first, I didn't understand why, but the more I think about it, what would the life of an imaginative yet undeveloped man-child be like? Yeah, we mentioned that one. A little too on the nose.
Ooh. Okay, get a little hit on the nose there, Doug.
Ha ha. You know what I'm saying. There could be something here, and maybe if this one...
Shut your fucking mouth! Oh. Stop chewing, you're not a fucking cow.
Wonka was charming, funny, or even interesting. I could get into that, but...
You're really weird.
I hate this man. You immediately know what this guy is all about. Even when they give the backstory about how his father, played by Christopher Lee, was a strict dentist, you don't need any more. You can put all the pieces together. That's usually a good thing to understand a character quickly, but they're acting like there's a lot to unpack with him, and it's honestly like watching that one fan at a convention who thinks because he dressed like a funny character, he's as witty as that funny character.
It's like all the people who dress up as Deadpool and think they're as witty and as funny as Deadpool, but instead they're awkward and very, very touchy and think that they're hiding behind a mask means that they can come up and grope whoever the fuck they feel like. Fuck you.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of those shorts are consensually done.
No, I'm talking about the ones I've seen IRL.
Oh.
Like literally. Like, he thinks, oh, I'm dressed up as Deadpool. I'm quirky and as funny as him. No, you're not.
I've never seen anybody do that IRL because I'm pretty sure they get their asses kicked pretty quick.
Oh, he got some looks. He got some looks, and he eventually, like, realized he'd outstayed his welcome, and he moved on. But, dude, oh, my God. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
The best kind of prize is a surprise.
Can you please tell Billy he's not Blitzo?
Don't you like to know our names?
Can't imagine how it would matter.
Well, if you give him the factory to one of them, I would think that would be a factor. Yeah, this is what I mean. If he was trying to figure out which of these kids should win and...
Doug reference, hell of a boss. That's pretty cool.
Well, he said he was a fan.
Also, the O is silent, Doug.
Huh?
Also, the O is silent.
Did he say Blitzo?
Mm-hmm.
Can you please tell Billy he's not Blitzo?
Damn, you're right. The O's silent, Doug. Get it right.
Figure out which of these kids should win in a very obvious comedic way. That would be funny and match his childlike persona. But he literally says he doesn't care.
Mr. Wonka, I'm Violet Beauregard.
I don't care.
Well, if you don't, why should I? The humor is closer to something like Jim Carrey's Grinch. It doesn't really matter if he makes sense or captures the spirit of the story, just as long as he's so big or weird that you can't help but laugh at how uncomfortable you are.
You're Mike TV. You're the little devil who cracked the system.
You are not leaving this place with your ball still attached.
Jesus Christ.
Ah, fall. The most beautiful time of the year. Ow, stupid fall! That's not where you're supposed to be! Let me try resetting it. There we go, fall. The most beautiful time of the year. Ow, shucks! Let me try blowing out a way. It doesn't look suggestive at all. Oh, now I got whatever the hell that screen is. You know, I guess fall is a time for a reset. Haha, tie-in! Between back to school, busier routines, and shorter days, finding time to cook can be tough. But guess what, person who hopefully remembers game systems used to be like what I'm parodying? There's Factor. Their chef-prepared, dietitian-approved meals make it easy to stay on track and enjoy something comforting and delicious, no matter how hectic the season gets. Oh, wait, that's a good thing. There's more variety and more meals. Choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost. You can support your wellness goals, enjoy even more GLP-1 friendly meals and new Mediterranean diet options, packed with protein and good-for-you fats. You can also savor global flavors. For the first time, try Asian-inspired meals with bold flavors influenced by China, Thailand, and more. Or you can eat the idea that we're supposed to get 2 weeks of nice weather in Chicago around fall time, but we don't because fall, you know what? For more choices to better nutrition, that's why...
Much like Logan, really good job on censoring the F-bomb there. Well done, Critic.
97% of customers say the Factor helped them live a healthier life. Feel the difference no matter your routine. I know I said this 100 times, I always break character when I do it, but again, if you've had these meals, you know why. These really are great. These aren't like any other meals you have mailed to your home. I mean, these really are the best that I certainly ever had. It is super, super good. Now back into character. Eat smart at factormeals.com/nostalgia50off and use the code nostalgia50off to get 50% off your first box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code nostalgia50off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid when new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Well, I'm off to use my snowblower because, you know, fall! Piece of shit.
Hey, we had fall around here, and the leaves changed and looked nice for about, what, a couple weeks?
3 weeks. Yeah.
And then... now all the trees are barren except for the evergreens, and it's just... and everyone's yard is filled with dead leaves.
It feels like fall gets shorter every single year, and it irks me.
I don't like it. Honestly, I wanted to go on a nice nature walk. I want to go on a nice nature walk with Kate, back to like Little Stony Falls or something like that. Okay, and drink in the beautiful colors of fall. Not happening.
Wonka takes them to the chocolate room of wonder and more awkward acting.
Try some of my grass.
You clearly already did.
Everything in this room is eatable. Even I'm eatable.
I'll pass.
Yeah.
We're introduced to the Oompa Loompas, played by Deep Roy, who I've mentioned before. I like a lot in this role, but I'm sorry. If you asked me which one's an Oompa Loompa, it's always going to be the carrot balloons over here. Oh, also, for some reason, Wonka says what a lot.
Sure is toasty in here.
What?
It's beautiful.
What?
There's no such place.
What?
Does your bob hair clog up your hearing? What's a joke? I'll admit I never needed to see Oompa Land, but we're gonna do a remake, we might as well. However, come on, it's gotta be weirder than this. This just looks like Ewoks in Apocalypse Now, which just speaking that into existence sounds a lot more interesting. Give me a place where the unknown from the Wonka experience could live.
They are such wonderful workers.
Grandpa Joe seems pretty indifferent to his job being replaced by the snail guy from Neverending Story. His factory is scrumdiddlyumptious, but 401k is dumb diddly broke. Augustus eats from the chocolate river and falls in, resulting in the Oompa Loompas singing.
Augustus Gloop, the great bakery evening complete.
Every song in the movie is taken from a different decade of music, which is a pretty clever way to do its own thing without being compared too much to the original.
Slowly wheels go round and round, and cogs begin to grind and pound.
Stop that.
Why would Augustus's name already be in the Oompa Loompa song? Unless
Improvisation is a parlor trick. Anyone can do it. Chewing gum is really gross. Chewing gum I hate the most.
Like, look at inquisitive Charlie Bucket. All of his questions can kindly suck it. They give a much friendlier version of the tunnel scene now with less chicken decapitation. Though I would be okay
So
with
were the
Nibbles the mouse
parents
to...
with them in the original?
Huh?
Were the parents with them in the original?
Yes.
So they just
Not
watched
both.
their
Well,
kids get brutally murdered in the candy factory? I can't remember.
They didn't get murdered. We never see the kids again, but in the original. But in this one, we do see them again. So we do see them after they've been saved.
Okay.
I'm quoting that poem. But fear
So
not,
I
there's still
thought
some
the implication was they died in the factory.
Well, it's implied that, but at the same time, Wonka does everything he can to save them. Like Violet, he's like, take her to the juice squeezing room. That should help reduce. That should help get her back to normal. And then like Veruca, it's just like, oh, don't worry, the trash isn't running today. Like the furnace isn't running today, so she'll just be stuck in the trash in the trash tube. And then of course the dad hops in. Veruca, sweetheart, Daddy's coming.
Disturbing imagery.
Bro.
That's messed up.
Whipped cream.
Whipped cream.
Precisely.
PETA called it torture, but the pun was worth it. He takes him to the inventing room where he shows him the everlasting gobstopper, which to the film's credit does actually look like a gobstopper.
Yeah. You can suck on it all year, and it'll never get any smaller.
Yeah, Doug, don't do it. For the love of God. Avoid the low-hanging fruit.
That's too low even for me to pick.
Yeah.
Violet steals a piece of chewing gum, but wouldn't you know it, it turns her into a Macy's Day Parade Smurfette float. It's one of the few times the CG effects are better than practical effects, as it really looks like she's filling up with blueberry juice as opposed to just a blue light being shined on her face and being put in an inflatable sumo suit. Also, it's...
But eventually they do paint her face blue in the original, which, yeah.
Just as nightmarish as the original.
I've tried it on like 20 Oompa Loompas, and each one ended up as a blueberry.
But don't worry, 5 made it out okay, and I made use of what was left of the others.
Ooh.
They roll her to the juicing room.
What are they going to do to her there?
They're gonna squeeze her.
So when does Dan Schneider come out as a Ghost Rider?
Oh! Damn. Damn, Doug. Oh. Should have saved it for a foot joke.
And they make their way to the next room where I get the only scene from Wonka that makes me laugh.
I myself am in the nut business. Are you using the Havermax?
That I will give is one of the better one-off jokes. That was so good.
Squirrels are used to crack open the nuts. Burton said he did this because he was afraid of squirrels, but I think it was done to make this dumb joke.
Don't touch that squirrel's nuts.
Because if you're gonna steal from the best. The squirrels fight back and toss Veruca down the garbage chute.
I've just been informed that the incinerator's broken, so there should be about 3 weeks of rotten garbage to break their fall.
Then when it stinks so bad it's unbearable, we release it and make millions.
Ouch.
They use the Wonkavator to see the rest of the factory, and these rooms raise so many questions, it is kind of hilarious.
This is the Puppet Hospital and Burn Center.
I'd rather not talk about this one.
And they end up in the testing room.
Why can't I send a real barbed chocolate through the television all ready to be eaten?
And yes, this is one of the few things that is a lot better in the remake. Sending a candy bar through TV is a lot cooler than this exercise in money burning.
Yeah, fair enough.
With that said, I hope you like that one time in the original he told Mike TV to speak clearly.
How do you make them?
I'm a trifle deaf in this ear. Speak a little louder next time.
Because it is the only joke he uses on him the whole film.
You really shouldn't mumble, because I can't understand a word you're saying. Once again, you really shouldn't mumble, because it's kind of starting to bum me out.
Yeah, the payoff of like the fact that the build up doesn't feel worth it, but then the outcome of what happens is actually really good.
Mumbler! Seriously, I cannot understand a single word you're saying.
Even Family Guy would be like, you might want to mix it up there. Naturally,
Yeah,
Mike
you'll
TV
cut
wants to
away.
travel via television and ends up getting shrunken down inside.
Let's go put him in the taffy puller. Taffy puller? Hey, that was my idea.
Your wordplay is Bugs Bunny if he was drunk and depressed. Charlie's the only one left, and he's told that he wins the factory. The other kids make it out alive, which, yes, is in the original book, but it is funny that dark and grim Tim Burton has the more child-friendly ending. However, when Charlie asks if he can bring his family with, Wonka says no.
The chocolatier has to run free and solo. He has to follow his dreams. Gosh darn the consequences.
Like when everyone on set declared I was killing an icon and confusing the masses, but I just told them pudding packets. I don't know. I don't need to make sense. I just gotta be weird.
Then I'm not going.
Charlie refuses his offer, and Wonka goes home depressed, causing the quality of the chocolate to go down as well.
Pity about that chocolate fella. It says here in the papers his new candies aren't selling very well.
He also has a funny haircut.
I do not.
That was him? Charlie says family is more important, and Wonka would know that if he reconciled with his father, who literally moved his entire office to the middle of nowhere. All right, that's pretty funny.
Do you have an appointment?
Okay, he must be really good. You need an appointment to see a dentist out here?
I haven't seen bicuspids like these since...
Now it looks like his father has been watching him for years, despite not recognizing him when he walked in. And they make amends pretty damn fast.
all these years, and you haven't flossed.
Not once.
For a guy who moved his business to a Looney Tunes short, I kind of assumed that would take more convincing. This warms Wonka's heart, and he finally decides to let Charlie move his household into the factory. Literally.
You smell like peanuts.
What the hell does she say?
I heard what she actually said the first time, but then once she said that, it took me a second. I was like, oh, yeah. It kind of did sound like that, I
Doug's
guess.
double entendre play there was actually really good.
I love peanuts.
Oh. Would surprise you at this point if she said the other thing?
No.
Guess not.
One thing was absolutely certain. Life had never been sweeter.
No, but the story certainly has. Yeah, sorry, this still hasn't won me over, and I think I get irritated with it because I see how it could have won me over.
Yeah.
When I first heard this was happening, I wasn't open to it at all. I love the original, I think it's an absolutely perfect kids movie, but I will admit, when I started giving this one a chance, I did start seeing the possibilities of it. There's a lot of good updates without necessarily feeling dated or forced. The world is different, but still has a unique, entertaining atmosphere. It just falls apart with Wonka himself. Yeah, Charlie's pretty bland too, but I could work
'cause
past that if...
typically Tim Burton and Johnny Depp do really good stuff together. So
See, this I think is where
I
the
don't know
point...
how they dropped the ball so hard on Wonka.
I hate to say it, but there's a point where Johnny Depp and Tim Burton have worked together so many times that starts to feel dialed in whenever it comes to, like, Dark Shadows. Dark Shadows had some stuff in it that was really good, but you could tell Johnny was dialing the performance in a fair amount, and Tim wasn't pushing him. See, Tim Burton has a problem where he is very hands-off with the actors and focuses solely on the set design and focuses solely on, like, the visual storytelling, which he's an artist. That's what he does, which is why he needs a producer to sort of, you know, be the go-between with the actors, to push the actors to go all in on the part and to, like, try different things if something isn't working.
At the very least, like a character director or something.
Yes, yeah, something. But yeah, anyway.
Wonka was done right. He's not likable, he's not funny, he's not clever, and even what motivates him is pretty inconsistent on several levels. Had they figured this character out, maybe the film would have stood a chance, more than I was originally giving it. But it just leads to awkward moment after awkward moment and derails the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
I know
I
for
think
those
that
who grew
was
up
like
with it,
if
there's always...
that performance had have been better, that it would actually be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I don't doubt it. If there was a thing they could have done to not make him as awkward, but instead make him like very much just like in his own head, and people have to keep up with, sort of like how Gene Wilder did it, because Gene Wilder, he was in his own world, and he was inviting people in, but he was expecting them to keep up, and you had to keep up, you had to pay attention. Here, he's doing quirky and silly things, but it's not leading to anything. It's not leading to any payoffs that are truly worthwhile. For instance, in the 71 version, the reverse car wash machine. Remember, they go through the thing, they get splashed with all the suds, and then they go through and then they're clean again? It's like, how'd that happen? And it's like, what the heck was that? Hasha Wakano. Is that Japanese? No, it's Wonka wash said backwards. And it's just all that stuff to go through all that, and then the payoff is literally everyone's clean and good again, and it's like Hasha Wakano, it's like just it's nonsensical, and he just keeps moving on to the next thing because that's just how he is. He's just an artist that just focuses on something at the moment and then moves on to the next. Here it's just quirky, quirky, quirky. I'm funny. No, you're not.
Gonna be a fondness for it, but if this is the Wonka I had to be stuck with, I'd say pass me a Slugworth Sizzler, which is also the name of his porno parody. I'm a nostalgia critic guy, remember? So you don't have to.
All right.
Even I'm eatable.
I'd rather not. Okay, well, I think that's that, ladies and gentlemen. That was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the review by the Nostalgia Critic, and here's what I'll say. I agree with Doug. I basically 100% agree with Doug on this. The film has a soul to it. It has like a really neat idea of like the design, like, you know, the industrial background and then the Bucket family house. The visual storytelling is really good with certain aspects, but then Depp comes in, and sadly he is the worst part of the film. I mean, it's pretty bad when the main character of the film is the worst part of the film.
Yeah.
It's
if he could have given a Jack Sparrow level performance in this, I have no doubt it would have been like an easy 8 to 9 out of 10 movie.
Dude, no doubt about it. I don't doubt that for a second.
Even if Charlie's performance wasn't quite up to snuff, it would have still been great.
I would have pushed Freddie Highmore to go a little more in on his performance. Like, I would have wanted a little bit more emotion, because Freddie has a very expressive face. He's really good at displaying emotions without saying anything. Sadly, he hadn't gotten to that here. And if someone would have been on set to push him to do that, be like, all right, I want you to look down and I want you to squint your eyebrows, or I want you to study your face, and what face would you make if you were sad and you couldn't really, and you didn't have anything to say anything, you didn't have anyone there to say anything to, what would be the face that you would make? And I would just I would have him study that in a mirror and just go and try to portray that on set. That's what I had to do with Marcus, because Marcus had issues with acting with his face, because when it came to being physically active and doing the motions of his character, he was good. But in the moment of where he had to be silent and he wasn't really capable of saying anything because he didn't have anyone to talk to, I had to show him hey, just do this, look at yourself in the mirror and gauge how your face moves whenever you think about certain things. And whenever you think about this thing here, think about what if that actually happened to you in real life, the face that you would be making, and because if you can bring that out, then it'll just add to your performance. And Marcus knocked it out of the park, because he's just a naturally good performer. Me, on the other hand, I look back on my performance in our SCP film, and I just keep thinking to myself, good God, this guy thinks he can act, but he can't act for shit.
You're your own worst critic. You did fine, dude.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. But, alright, everyone, this was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the review by the Nostalgia Critic. If you enjoyed what you saw here, feel free to click up here, and it'll take you to a Nostalgia Critic video. or the Nostalgia Critics channel, Channel Awesome. And if you want to see more from us, be sure to subscribe and be sure to check any of the other videos we have on screen here. And yeah, leave a like on the video as it helps us out a whole hell of a lot. And go check out the Nostalgia Critic. Like, be sure to check out more from him because his commercial video is coming soon. And you don't want to miss that. So, anyway, till next time, everyone, I'm Nate.
I am Nick.
Be good people. Take care of yourselves. Peace.